part one of two of the new officers and end of year closeout training. We'll cover a few topics today, and I plan to have the next meeting on Wednesday of next week around 6 p.m. to do the remainder of the topics. That way we're not here all night. I'm trying to be just spread it out a little. Okay, so I don't know if I have ability to share. Let's see, share my screen. Okay, so everyone's seeing this? Okay, good. Okay, so once again, new officers end of year closeout workshop. This first one today, and then the next one June 4th. First topic, or the topics we'll cover today, is givebacks, reporting of officers, compliance documents, memberships, remitting state dues, and budget do's and don'ts. Number one, givebacks. What is it? How do I use it? A lot of people are having issues with givebacks, whether they've never used it or they feel uncomfortable with using the platform, or they've tried something else and prefer it better. While you do have the ability to use whatever tools you feel help your organization, it has been made a requirement that moving forward, many of the compliance requirements that you would normally email or mail to Florida PTA is now being uploaded directly into givebacks, and they will be processing them in real time. So as you can see here, givebacks is an online tool designed to help run your PTA. It's how you access your membership cards. You can upload all your compliance documents there and store additional documents that you might find important that you may not have someplace else to put. It's the place that you can remit state dues. You can communicate with your members, as many of you received the push notification from me about today's meeting. You can use it for fundraising. That's not necessarily a requirement, but you can use it. We also provide website, like a place to build a website for your PTA through givebacks, and it's also for maintaining your compliance standing. I don't know if this thing is covering the page. Okay, no, let's see. Is it showing?
It looks fine, isn't it?
Okay, sorry, my little thing is at the top blocking stuff. Okay, so did I move a page? Hold on. Okay, yeah. Reporting officers. Normally, when you have your elections, the new officers will go on to the Florida PTA website, click on the little link at the top that says new and returning officers. If you were to go to that link now, you would get the exact same instructions that you see here, which is to log into givebacks. According to the Vice President of Regions and Councils for Florida PTA, effective immediately, officers are required to be reported through givebacks, in addition to your 990 tax filing, your, I had it written down, sorry. You have like three things. Audits, your 990, and your officers are all required to be reported through givebacks. So here you would go to givebacks, you would click compliance, which is in the left column, submit officers, and then you would change the year to the upcoming year. So basically, this skipped one step on the instructions, which it recommends that as soon as the election takes place, the existing or the outgoing president or secretary would then take the incoming officers and report it through givebacks. So say this term, I'm president at ABC PTA, and I have all my officers that just got elected. They don't start till, well, they start immediately, but their year begins July 1st. As the outgoing president, I will take their information, which is name, home address, phone number, and email, input it into givebacks as submitting officers. So you would do this so that when their term begins, they will already have the email from givebacks giving them administrative access. So you would enter their information in there, and then that'll help them already have access and they won't be struggling to begin their year. Compliance documents. Like I said, effective immediately givebacks will be the only way to submit your officers 990 tax confirmation and audits. Bylaws still have to be submitted the regular way because that requires review and approval, and then it will be put into givebacks from Florida PTA themselves. So you would still put your other documents like the compliance, you go to compliance, submit forms. Sorry, I keep getting all these notifications of people coming in. It's a little distracting. Sorry. Um, Click compliance in the left-hand module, submit forms, click submit on the document you wish to submit. So if you're putting in your confirmation that you've submitted your 990, you would have that document. You click on submit. Actually, I think I have that here. So, so here is what you would see. I don't know if you're seeing this screen, but the compliance submissions, you would put your 990, you'd click on the submit button here, and then a menu will come up and it'll have you fill out the fields and upload whatever document. You would do the same thing for any of these. So then going back to the PowerPoint. So once those are uploaded, it will be automatically processed by Florida PTA. They're actually getting really good at having them done as soon as they go into the system. So that's one easier step. Membership tools. To access your membership tools, this is the most important thing. Members cannot access their membership cards without having it registered in givebacks. That's literally the only way to get your membership card. And without your membership card, you don't have access to any of your benefits of being a member. So it's very important whether you use cash payments or if you use another application that you still find some time to go and put those memberships into Member Hub so that those members are considered a member. So for that, you would go to Givebacks, click on memberships in the same side panel, click membership products, and that's basically where you would see the list of the standard membership types. So for example, parent, guardian, staff, faculty, grandparent, business, all of those are the ones that are recognized by Florida PTA. So keeping that in mind, if you're using another application for your memberships, that when you submit those memberships to Member Hub, or sorry, to Givebacks, formerly Member Hub, you use the specific type that is listed in givebacks, because if you use a different name, it'll kick it back and say that it didn't work or it'll reject it. I've had this happen myself. So again, effective immediately, givebacks is the only method to access your membership card. It's very important. Manual entry of memberships. Same field for memberships, you would click on members, and then there will be the three dots on the right side at the top next to the year, and you would click on the dots and it'll give you two options, either add cash check member or select import members if you're using a spreadsheet with all the list of members. So those are your two main options to do them manually. Add cash check is good if you're just get one every so often, you just want to put that one in. But if you have just did a membership drive and you know you just sold 500 memberships, it's best to have it in a spreadsheet and upload it. And then for that, I have an image so you can see that. I did a lot of screenshots to try to make it convenient. So this is where I was talking about to do manual entry memberships, and it will say add cash check member or import members. If you click on import members, which this one I don't have a screen for, it'll pop up with a screen where you can put the fields in individually, or you can download their CSV file, and then you could upload your information into that and then upload it into the system. remitting state dues. There's someone that offered to allow me to show a demonstration of this. Hopefully they're still in here. Yeah, Teresa. Okay, so you go into givebacks and you click on memberships and then click remit state dues. This is something that only the treasurer or the president can access. So anyone could see the remit state dues, but it will not give you the access to actually submit it. So if you're an officer and you see, oh, we have, 50 memberships due, you can tell your president or treasurer, hey, our memberships are still due. And then that could help them out. So I don't know if I'd be able to share that screen.
I'm here. I just don't have sharing authority. You'd have to grant me that.
Did you? Okay, let me see if I can.
Rosa, could you give her
Rose, I
permission?
think, stepped out.
Rosa has left.
Okay.
Cynthia is host.
Okay.
It's Teresa Sanchez, right?
Yes.
Do I make co-host for that?
Yes, you make her co-host, let her share.
Okay. All right, you should be able to share now.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
It's a lot of my face.
So it doesn't look like it's allowing you, let me try that again. It doesn't look like it's sharing. Are you able to see it?
We can
Yes.
see it, Teresa.
Perfect. So this is the home screen, and you would toggle down to memberships, remit state dues. And this is what the actual screen will look like. If any dues are pending, you will see it in this blue box. And then there would be a little button that you can just press to go ahead and remit those state dues. And below you would see the history of every time you have made those remittances.
Thank you.
Is that all, Cynthia?
Yes, thank you very much.
Cynthia, may I add something?
Absolutely.
Please note that at the moment you are going to pay $3.50 per member plus a $2 fee by givebacks. So whether you are paying for one member, which would be $3.50 plus $2, $5.50, or 100 members, $350, it would be $352. So that's why Florida PTA can't take the money out, because there is a $2 fee. You have to approve it.
Standard question. What is there a max on the amount of members you can send in one shot? So just pay the $2? No.
Haven't found one yet.
Okay. Just want to make sure they understand that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so next slide is budget. This one I didn't change from the original format, so this has several screens for it. So you have a plan, what's next? As per your bylaws, budgets must be prepared. Who makes up the budget committee and who's the chair? What's included in the budget? Where do you get information from? Who approves the budget and when? And can changes be made to the budget? This one I felt was important to leave all the slides because there have been a lot of questions and a lot of gray areas that people have been unsure of. So I felt important to cover all of that. So we don't have any money. Why do we need a budget? Without having a budget, no money can be spent. So say you decide, we're not gonna have a budget. We don't need a budget. We're just gonna go out and just advocate. And then someone's like, you know what? You have a great mission here. I want to donate $10,000 to your cause. It's all well and good, but you have no budget. So you have the $10,000, can't do anything with it. So it's very important whether you plan to spend or receive money that you still have a budget just in case. When you have different initiatives that you are planning for your year, whether it's a program or something else, try to figure out how much would it cost? What's a reasonable cost for what it is, and then budget accordingly. Because if you budget, say, $1,000 for something that may just cost, like it may cost $999, what if the price went up? So you always need a little wiggle room. It's definitely better to have it than to not, in my opinion. Also, because we are a membership, I forgot the terminology, membership managed organization, where the members make the final decision. Sorry. So because of that, we have to make sure that anytime that there's money involved, the members know and they approve of the decision we make. So that's the purpose of bringing the budget into play. It's approved at the first general meeting, preferably, and whatever funds are on there, that's kind of your working your working funds for the year. And as we get to the other slide, we'll talk about if things change. Things that PTAs can't do. These things have been brought up in many occasions, and it's very important to point these out. There are a lot of rules that differ from state to state, county to county. What PTA is allowed to do in the huge umbrella of PTA does not supersede, especially in Dade County, what the school board rules indicate. So for example, there are some PTAs in another state, another county, wherever, that may be allowed to sell yearbooks or may be able to have a vending machine. And that's perfectly fine within the rules and regulations of where they reside. Here in Miami-Dade County, it's part of the school board policy that those things are not allowed. So profiting from pictures taken during school time, memory books, yearbooks, those things are absolutely a hard limit. No, we're not allowed to do it. I know sometimes, I mean, I know I have seen it happen in the past, and now learning more about it, I understand why it's not okay. And it's sad that I've had to witness it. Oops, went back a page. Okay. So other things that we cannot do, we cannot impose fees for any school-sponsored clubs, organizations. We can't be the only source of something. So for example, my daughter's school used to sell agendas. But if, say, for example, I don't like the agenda or it's too costly, I can still go to Publix or Staples and buy my own agenda. There can't be any hard limit on what we can provide that they can't get elsewhere. Like my daughter has music classes and she gets a recorder. She could still go to the music store and buy one, but as a courtesy, the PTA might sell them, but it's not a requirement. We can't impose things on someplace like a monopoly, so to speak. Another thing that's not listed on these slides that was very important to bring up is end of the year money. Say you budgeted all this money and you've far exceeded what you expected to get for the year. If you say you expected to end the year kind of at a break even, but you for some reason have money left over, if it's not approved by the general membership, nothing can be done with that money. It sits there until the next budget or budget amendment is taking place. So if you've already had your last meetings of the year, no budget changes have been made, the money can't be touched. Does anyone have anything to contribute to these? Anyone? Nope. Okay. So I covered a lot of things and kind of on a very brief, quick way because I knew that these meetings can go really late. But are there any questions? Anything anyone needs to know, has a question about what was discussed?
There's a question in the chat concerning summer budget.
Summer budget. Let me see. Trying to scroll to find it. Summer
It literally
budget.
just says summer budget.
Oh, Jackie, do you have more of a question about anything particular about summer
Yeah,
budget?
no, there are many there are many PTAs that are preparing, for items that they sell or provide, and they just need to have to be able to pay for certain things over the summer. So some schools, PTAs might need to submit a summer budget, to be approved. So just anyway,
Oh,
your
yeah,
thoughts?
that can be something that is included in your budget. So say, for example, you know for a fact you get all of your back to school stuff between July and August before school starts. Make sure that it is included in your budget and have a line item that specifically says summer spending or summer back to school spending or something that covers that area, because you never know what could be. It could be something that, like, hey, you had a meeting during your summer thing in July, and you're like, you know what we really need to do is this. If the money is covered in there, if there's a line item for it, the money can be spent. But if there's no, what on earth did I just do? Maybe I'll stop sharing. I'll go back. There you go. Oops. There. Yeah, so if as long as there's a line item for it, then you're fine. But you can't just arbitrarily decide to spend the money if there's no approval from the general membership. I see there are other raised hands. I can't tell who had theirs.
Cheryl Ford had a question.
Sure. What is your question?
Good evening. I actually threw it in the chat. I wanted to know, what is the procedure if you wanted to increase your dues for your local PTSA?
Oh, okay. So increasing your dues. This is actually a very important topic, considering beginning July 1st, the price goes up for national PTA. This is something that as a board you can discuss and figure out what might be the most appropriate for your local unit. But just like the budget and just like the bylaws, this is something that has to be a decision made by the general membership. So, I mean, I think it's best to make the decision before, but it can be made before the fiscal year ends, I believe, if it's voted on in a meeting, I believe. But it definitely needs to be something that is brought up to your members, and it has to be approved by them. So say, for example, your membership dues are $5, which a lot of, I've had a school where my membership dues were $5. Now that the national dues goes, or the payment goes up to $4.50 per member, that leaves 50 cents left over, which isn't bad, but considering insurance and everything else, it may not be the best for for the actual administrative aspect of what the board has to do, because membership dues is a combination of national dues, state dues, county dues, and local dues. So if 50 cents, I don't know if that would actually cover county and local.
Cynthia,
Yes,
membership dues do not include county dues.
valid. Valid point. Yes, the county dues is not, we don't do a per membership fee. So yeah, you're right. County dues actually is what is included when you buy your AIM insurance. So that is actually separate. But I guess where I was coming from with that was, like, when I was a treasurer, I calculated, okay, so on average we have X amount of memberships, and we need to have at the time 150 for insurance. This was a long time ago. So if we have X amount of memberships, in order for us to at least break even, we need to charge this much for our membership to cover all aspects of member dues and insurance. So that was my math in my head once upon a time. I don't know if that answers your question, but definitely has to be something decided not only with the board and really thought out, but also presented to the membership and get their approval before it can be changed. Any other pictures outside of academic time?
Osmani also has his hand up.
Osmani?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
So my question is, who has gone to the convention, to the Florida convention that's here? Because we're having a competition, right, between all all the counties, right, the districts, and we want to make sure we take a lot of people over there. It's a great opportunity to to learn more. It's like the BLT that we put together here, but on steroids. It's a really good good training. Can you talk to him, Cynthia, about they have to make sure that they plan it ahead of time, right? In their summer, right? They have to make sure they add it into their budget. Can you talk about that, please?
Sure. Okay, so what he's referring to is the Florida PTA convention and also possibly the National PTA convention. These are not only networking resources, they provide a lot, and I mean so much training opportunities and enrichment opportunities for local unit leaders. And it is something that your local unit can present as part of their budget, but it has to be something approved obviously beforehand. So based off of whatever the price convention would cost, you as a board can say, hey, I think it is very valuable for maybe 3, 1, 2, whatever you decide, members should go to this training. And then you have to calculate what the cost would be and what it all includes. Present that as part of your budget. And you could obviously, it's best to have an explanation, because there may be questions like, well, why do you need $1,000 for training? That doesn't sound logical. You say, well, we go out of the county and we have to go and pay for room and board, and we have to pay for this, and we have food, and whatever whatever you're presenting, that is entirely on the local unit, but it needs to be approved. So that's a line item that you would have. Ironically, it would also be part of summer spending, because those conventions take place during the summer. So it's something you could include. It could be under administrative, it could be under training, whatever line item you want to refer to. It's best to put it specifically for training and have a more detailed rubric of how that entails for your local unit. Like, I'm not sure how every local unit works, but for example, when I was in a local unit board position, it didn't cover the whole cost. It covered a portion of the cost, whether it be 50% or 20%, and then the rest comes out of my own pocket. That would be how it was planned out back then.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Welcome. I do see a lot of questions that I don't know if I've covered. Okay.
Cynthia, I'm answering as many as I can. And
Oh,
if anything is in general, I will bring it to your attention.
Thank you. Any other questions anyone has, concerns, comments, feedback? I do see.
I posted the Booster Club guidelines because that covers what they can and cannot fundraise according to the school board. You can also look it up on the Dade School's website by typing in Booster Club guideline into the search engine.
Yes.
And yes, somebody couldn't download it because it's too big. So looking it up on Dade Schools will give you the most current copy as well.
Yeah. That would basically be like the I don't want to call it a Bible. That would definitely be the best resource to know what your limitations are as far as PTA goes, like what you can and cannot do within schools. Usually the principal has a copy of it someplace, but you can access it directly on the website. It provides a lot of information actually involving like what things are allowed, what needs to be said or addressed. And there are things that are PTA specific, and then things that are school board specific. So it's good to have access to that information just to cover all bases. I do see some questions that weren't answered. Let's see. Pictures outside of academic time, such as an event, are they okay? I'm not I don't believe that
As
pictures
long
of
as it's not during the school day.
Okay, but I think the question is, are they able to sell them? I'm thinking, is that the question, Teresa?
Yes, I'm wondering if during event we can have a booth and then obviously sell those photos if they're not during academic time.
Yes, if it's outside of the school day, then there's no question about that being your ability to sell pictures.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
It's during the school day that it is up to the principal to make the call as to whether or not it's academic time or not.
Thank you for that.
Because you're not going to get in trouble with the school board. It's your principal that will get in trouble.
Yeah. Um, what about if during their lunchtime with the administrator? During lunchtime, that still, I think that still falls within school time.
Again,
Again,
principal's call.
yeah, to say the same thing. Not to sell pictures, but to charge for activity itself of them dressing up, and when you take pictures, you give it. That's a little gray area. So the question I see here in the chat says not to sell pictures, but charge for the activity itself of them dressing up, and then we take pictures and give it to them.
I get that. And yes, again, once if the principal approves it.
Yeah.
So keep in mind that the principal is the ultimate authority of what can happen on their campus. They have 100% veto to everything that goes on in their campus.
There's a YouTube channel you're asking about?
Yes, and I'm looking for the link right now. So bear with me and I will post that link.
See, I was stuck in that one question. I didn't see that there were so many other questions. I'm really sorry if I seem like I'm not paying attention. I'm just scrolling. Replies, no replies.
Found it.
As far as the Zoom link for next week's training, it hasn't been created yet. It'll probably go out in an email similar to the one you received now. Should that one be done also through the corresponding Zoom link, or should I just make it through my own is the question. So logistics pending. Yeah, just look out for your email and you'll get the link for that one as well once it's created, or the registration once it's created. Were there any questions I missed that anyone still has concerns about?
Yes, ma'am. Question. Can we create a YouTube for our local PTSA? Therefore, we could keep our community and the school informed of some of the events and the activities that we're involved in.
Cynthia, you want me to take that one?
Yes, please. I didn't know how to answer that one.
You are allowed to have your social media postings. However, given that your PTA name is very closely related to the school, in fact, they're pretty much identical with only the difference of PTA or PTSA, you always want to make sure that your principal is in agreement, because you don't want to have an angry situation, because that makes a horrible relationship, and that's not what you want. The other problem you have is if you are posting anything that's happened on the school campus with students, there is a media release that needs to be on file at the school. And you don't know who does and does not have media releases. So you need to be working with the school to do those kind of postings. When we try to post pictures of students from the backside so that there's no faces visible on our social media, unless we know that we have permission to post those children. So you have to work with the school, but yes, as far as PTA is concerned, you are allowed to have social media. I do caution you because a lot of social media gets set up using personal email addresses and personal phone numbers. And if those individuals move on without passing on the ability to post, those things will be lost. Heaven knows, even the council's lost many over the years. We've lost websites, let's get real.
Yeah. Back on that, emails as well. If you're using a personal email for your PTA, or you've created a generic, um, email, but through like just a regular free application somewhere like Yahoo or Gmail, the creator of that account has proprietorship over that email account. So if they just up and decide, nope, not giving you access, you can't force them. So you could lose a lot of information as well. That's why having a localized place to store your information is very important.
They're really cute.
I'm so glad.
Very, very nice. One, I told you,
Okay. There's a question I see here. Are we able to cover lunch for robotic STEM events or provide reimbursement as support? I guess that depends if you have a hospitality budget and what it entails. So if you have a budget for, hospitality and it's broad enough that it includes covering for things like that, I mean, if it falls within your budget, it's approved, then yes. But if it's something that's just, hey, I feel like buying them food, you can't spend money that wasn't budgeted.
Absolutely right, Cynthia. It must be budgeted to be able to spend it. But I also caution you not to support one group over another. I know at my high school, I got a request to support one group, and the reality is there's 36 of those groups at that high school. And we didn't have the budget to support 36 groups equally. Now you can set aside funds in a budget line item and ask for proposals to receive those funds and then have a way to jury your proposals to divide up what funds you do have. That's an equal access way of doing it without having to physically equally support 36 clubs.
Yeah.
There's a really good question about the membership fee that just got posted.
Yes, I was actually about to bring that one up. Did you want to cover that one or you want me to do it?
Go ahead, madame.
Okay, so the question says, I have a question regarding the membership fee. I know the state fee is going up in the summer. However, on Member Hub givebacks, it's currently available to pay for the next year's membership. So my question is, just to clarify that is it okay to start promoting next year's membership now? I mean, it's kind of a buyer beware kind of thing because you can sell the membership, but whether or not you sold the membership at today's price, come July 1st, which is the earliest you can remit those dues to Florida PTA, you're still paying the $4.50 for that membership. So if your goal is to increase membership dues when that price increases, those who purchase those memberships before that price increase, it doesn't affect anything except that you lose $1 on those memberships.
So if you intend on increasing your price of your membership, do it now.
Yes. Yeah, definitely do it now. See, is there any other questions I overlooked? Any other questions? I don't see any other ones new unless I've scrolled too fast.
No, I think you covered everything, Cynthia. I did post the YouTube link in a couple of places. There's already training videos up there. They're a couple of years old now. We'll try to get some new ones up there as well. Definitely need givebacks up there. But don't hesitate to go to the givebacks.com website. There are many, many videos already available there.
Yes.
for you to learn how to use the platform. And if you get stuck on anything, don't forget, you're paying for this platform in your fees that you pay when you use credit cards. So please don't hesitate to set up a one-on-one with givebacks to help you out. I did that the other day. Unfortunately, the answer what I was looking for wasn't optional, but I set up a one-on-one and we talked about it, and maybe they will go back and reprogram if you come up with something that is a good idea.
Yeah,
Diana has a follow-up question.
sure. What is her, let me see. What is your follow-up question, Dana?
Unless I misunderstood, but it sounds like Natalia's question is, can she start promoting next year's membership now, meaning selling the membership for next year? So my question is, if they sell a membership now, doesn't it expire like in September? So they can't sell memberships now for next year, can they?
No. So what she's referring to is if you go and give backs, like say I were to go and log into my local unit that I'm a member of, and I want to purchase next year's membership, unless they've deactivated it, I can go in there and purchase next year's membership at the current rate. So say today the membership costs $10, and then they're like, hey, memberships are going up $1. We need to increase our prices by $2. Now the membership's going to be $12 for the next year. But because it hasn't been approved, updated in the system and everything, I got the membership for $10. They can't pay it to the state until July. So when they pay it to the state, they're still paying $4.50. And I got my membership for $2 off, basically. So it's a draw. I mean, you can definitely sell them, but you're still going to pay the $4 when it comes time to pay the dues. $4.50, sorry. It's definitely not the preferred. If you ask me, I personally wouldn't want, especially if I know for a fact the price is going to be changed or requested to be changed, I would not want to sell any membership dues until the next year comes up. Or at least until it's approved. That's my
And see,
personal.
I have to laugh because I have at least 4 people who have bought their membership for SEPTA for next year already, because our dues are only $5 right now and they have to go up.
Oh yeah, that's pretty smart, personally. But yeah, that's literally the case. I mean, you don't change your prices, you stick with what it is, and then it's fine. But if you have every intention of increasing your prices, may not be good from an internal perspective too.
May I demonstrate how you can purchase in advance?
Absolutely. Let me not share this anymore.
Gotcha. I can override it.
There you go.
If I go to givebacks right now and I want to purchase a membership, and I'm just going to go ahead and purchase my membership to For Our Children. So here I am in their store. I'm going to become a community member. And right now my membership is only $5. And by the way, I'll turn around and give them another $5 in donation. But if I go here to school year, you can see that I can drop down to 25, 26 already. So if I join them, I am going to end up paying only $5, no matter what they increase it to. And now I would go in and enter my information to actually purchase.
Thank you, Sandra. That was good. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really the thing. I don't, unless you know you're not changing your prices, I wouldn't advertise next year's memberships yet, unless you're okay with taking the extra dollar hit. I see a hand up for Natalie Hurley.
Yes, hi, good
Hi.
evening. I have a question. So I had an idea that I wanted to bring up to our principal for next year for sponsorship, getting sponsorship from businesses. In order for businesses to sponsor through givebacks, would I have to create a membership for them, or how would that work?
You make a in givebacks, you could make a thing in your store for sponsorship or donations. Like the same way you could sell a t-shirt, you could create sponsorship things in there. It wouldn't be a membership unless you're including membership as part of their sponsorship, but that's creating a whole bundle, and that's a story for another time.
Okay, but I would be able to create a sponsorship one, and then the businesses can sponsor through there.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to include membership as part of the sponsorship, just make sure you put it as a bundle and not as a membership. I mean,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
And
Thank you
in
so much.
fact, when I brought up the store for advocates, you may have noticed that there was a business membership that was $50.
Yes,
That was one membership, but the business has to pay $50, and
right.
they get one vote.
So when I registered for the PTSA this year, I did a business membership, but I didn't know that people or parents that were not part of that school would be able, like a business that doesn't have kids going to the school would be able to donate through it as well. Like they
Absolutely.
could-
You are a
Ah,
501c3 nonprofit organization with every right to
wonderful.
take a donation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Any other questions? Isabel Aguilar, you had a question?
Isabel?
If you're speaking, you're on mute.
Maybe she can't find the mute.
Yeah, I've asked her to unmute twice and it hasn't happened yet, so.
Maybe the hand was unintentional. Yeah, I guess while we're waiting for Isabel to unmute, does anyone else have a question? I guess not. All right, well, since it's now 8 o'clock and I'm sure everyone wants to get to the rest of their evening and we have no more questions, I guess we can call this meeting. Yeah, is everyone okay with that?
All right. Like I promised, I will get this video and edit it a little bit and post it to our YouTube channel.
Thank you everyone for coming, and I will follow up with that meeting link for the next one.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Sandra.
Cynthia, why don't we go ahead and post the Booster Club guidelines in the invitation for the next meeting?
That's not a bad idea.
I'll make sure they're uploaded to Constant Contact for you.
I don't have access to contact.
When you let our communication team know.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, Isabel rejoined. You want to see if she has a question?
Sure.
Hi, Isabel. I saw that you rejoined.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Today my daughter graduated. So, I was in the middle of thank you. So I came to the bathroom and then realized that my microphone, I have to fix it at the settings. I don't know if it's a silly question, but I encountered this yesterday. I have a volunteer that she works for a school. She's I believe she's a security. And she was expressing to me that she doesn't want to pay for the membership because I've been telling her that she needs to pay her memberships, and she didn't want to pay. So she says that why, if she wants to come and help and volunteer in the school, she has to pay membership because in none of her previous schools before she had ever paid her membership. She's a little bit difficult, and I want to get, because she was like, oh, I'm going to get a letter for my principal. And I want to get back to her in a professional way and explain to her the reason. Besides that, those are the fees that we all pay, which I told her that we pay every year. We have to renew our memberships. But in almost 15 years, this is the first time that I hear something like that. And she was really upset. And she was like, oh, no, I don't have to pay because I'm going to go and help the school. And I work for Miami-Dade. And mind you that we only, charge $10 for the membership. So what are your suggestions on this?
Okay, well, volunteering and I mean, are you talking about her volunteering for PTA related events or volunteering in general?
Events, because I told her that if she doesn't pay her membership, there's no way that she can vote or she can vote for an office, So, but as a volunteer, to come and volunteer, and mainly her volunteer time is just to be with her daughter, taking pictures, because we experienced that in the past.
I guess that's if that's the criteria, it's because she's not really as much volunteering as she is just spending time with her daughter. That's one thing. But I mean, I don't see why anyone would want to turn away someone who wants to volunteer, whether they're a member or not. Volunteers are hard to come by. If you have someone willing to do it, I'd never turn them away.
No, and
Membership or
I don't
not.
want to, I don't want to turn him down. It's just the fact that she expresses that, she just don't want to pay, but she wants to have a saying when it comes to things that we are organizing. So it's a little bit difficult. So I don't want to force her to pay the $10, obviously, because it's up to her. But I was just trying to figure out a good way to tell her that it would be great if she collaborates paying the membership.
So is it a case she's concerned about, or what her issue is she wants to have a vote but doesn't want to pay membership, or she just wants to help out and doesn't want to pay membership?
She wants to help, but just in her own time, but she doesn't want to pay no memberships. And also she refuses to pay for, certain activities. She wants to have like a freebie for all. So and she keeps saying, oh, I work for the school and the other school that my other girls are, I get everything for free. They pay everything for me. So it's kind of difficult because you have two different schools, but it shouldn't be like that,
Cynthia, I think Osmani has an answer for this.
Was money?
Yes. So there's two things. If she's volunteering as part of the school, that has nothing to do with PTA. Like if she has her, she has her fingerprints or level 1 or level 2. She's not. That doesn't have to do with us. That has to do with the school. So if she comes in and does whatever she wants, and the principal allows her to, that has nothing to do with the PTA. But if she's going to be part of a PTA event and make decisions, then she does have to be a member if she's going to be part of PTA events. Sandra, does that sound accurate? So two different things, right? Two different
Okay.
things. If she's volunteering for whatever and her principal says, hey, you can be in the classroom, that has nothing to do with us. But if she's gonna be at an event and she's gonna be making decisions or anything of that nature with an event that you put on as a PTA, then yes, she has to be part of it. But if not, then let her do whatever she wants. Just she can't make any decisions with anything that has to do with PTA.
Okay, so I can just let her come even if it's an event for PTA, and I don't have to worry about basically her not paying the fees as long as she doesn't wants to run for something, because elections, we're supposed to have elections. And she was like, oh, and what about if I get, and then the first thing that she asked, do I get paid for that? And I said, absolutely no, it's a volunteer. Yes, it's been very interesting, 15 years. And this is a staff member in another school, and I'm in shock. I'm like, and then she tells me that, how can we help her? And I said, we are a nonprofit organization. We cannot help you financially. So
Cynthia,
I think I know
share
who it
the
is.
bylaws?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I share the bylaws.
Sure.
Isabel, what you want is right there in highlight. Article 5, members and dues. Only members of this association shall be eligible to participate in the business meeting or to serve in any of its elective or appointed positions. You got to be a member to play.
Perfect.
And if she is a Dade Schools employee, she knows what UTD charges. And believe me, it is not $10 a
No,
year.
no,
It's more
and
like
it's going up.
900 a
Yeah,
year.
yes. I heard that it went up. Okay. I mean, it was a silly question, and I was like, but like yesterday, she was
There's your
giving me
answer. It's in your bylaws.
perfect. Thank you so much.
I think I'm a little stuck on her motive. Like, you're saying it's just to participate for free?
Let's move on that one.
Any other
someone's coming in.
questions?
I saw someone's hand was up and then they put it down. Was I think the last name Karen. I think it was Askewy, the last name of the person who had their hand up.
My question was answered. Thank you.
Okay, just checking. Were there any other questions or?
We're just picking up any stray questions. This is the part that'll be edited out.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you everyone for coming, and I appreciate it. I know it's late at night, and I'm hoping to do the next one earlier in the day, so it's less intrusive on your night. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you all.
It's not even, oh, there it is.